Now this is interesting. I read sometimes the mainstream media, so you don't have to. Like Donald Trump said, I gladly take the slings and arrows for you. I gladly take the nausea that I'm about to get from reading a CNBC article. But when you have CNBC, mainstream media, talking about Google in a not so great light, I think I need to go ahead and read this. Google veterans. The company has become unrecognizable. Key points. Google employees shared why 2019 was a pivotal year for the company's history. Former workers shared why they left the company, citing organizational changes and a lack of transparency from management. And finally, workers said the company's culture has turned into the opposite of what the founders said they had hoped for. Oh, really? You mean you guys are finally seeing, you employees, oh my God, this is a liberal leftist nut job takeover, and I can't work here because you guys are, like, I feel uncomfortable, the stuff you want me to do, etc. Let's see. Let's see what this article has to say. CNBC.com. When Google co-founders Larry Page and President Sergey Brin stepped down, remember, QAnon said, hey, watch for the resignations of big companies, not just American politics. Look at the companies too. I did a video the other day when these two stepped down. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting timing, guys, for you to step down. Anyways, when Google co-founders Larry Page and President Sergey Brin stepped down from their roles as CEO and president of Google holding company, Alphabet, earlier this month, it marked the end of an era. While it's unclear what prompted the two to leave their formal management positions, longtime employees, many of whom also left the company this year, described to CNBC a massive cultural shift that percolated throughout 2019. Now, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking to myself, is it possible they're leaving the company because they know the hammer is about to drop? Monopoly laws, again, not being monopolistic, antitrust, all kinds of good stuff. And they're going to be like, well, we don't want to get nailed for that at the top, so we're just going to step down now. Is that why they did that? Yeah, I don't know. Whole lot of CEOs, if you've been tracking big companies, like Fortune 500 companies, a hell of a lot of CEOs have been stepping down over the last couple of years. Very interesting. And by the way, during a time period where their stocks are doing fantastic. Thanks to Donald Trump, of course. Why would you step down now? That's just getting good. They cited changes to Google's all-hands meetings, human resources processes, and transparency from management. Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai in October admitted the company's challenge in scaling the trust of its own workforce, which numbers more than 100,000 people. Let me stop there. You remember I said a few times now, there was an article I read the other day on it for you, about 10,000 of these Google employees, they're going to check to see, like, oh, these people are, these videos are being flagged, or content's being flagged, now we got to go watch the video to see, does it deserve to be flagged and removed, or is it okay? So they have 10,000 people who do nothing but that all the time. That's 10% of Google's workforce. By the way, 100,000 it says, so that's 10,000, that's 10%. And they were getting red-pilled by the content. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I need to check that out. I didn't know that. Oh, God, I was laughing hysterically when that happened. So, more recently, Laszlo Bock, former director of human resources for Google. Former director? Could you imagine how good of a salary Google pays the top people? Even programmers and whatnot, they're going to pay them good. They're not just paying you some jabroni wages. So a director level person in human resources, former? Jiminy Christmas, what happened to make you leave? Anyways, more recently, Laszlo Bock, former director of human resources for Google, told Bloomberg that he thinks Alphabet is, quote, a different company than it used to be, but that not everyone's gotten the memo. I know 10,000 people who kind of forcefully got a memo getting red-pilled. Hey, this change has been noticed by some on the outside too. Quote, what the hell is going on over there? Tweeted Andreessen Horowitz partner Martin Casado over the summer. The brain drain at Google right now is astonishing, is what he was quoted as saying. Thus far, Google has declined to comment. This is quite amazing because, first of all, when was this story done? December 31st. So today's the 1st. I'm doing the story. And I was just saying a few days ago about this book, Life After Google. That was written a year and a half ago. The only title you need to know if you think about that book is the title I just read you. This company has become unrecognizable. You don't say. I bet Life After Google book is going to be a phenomenal forecast of the future for Google. We're going to scroll back down. A shift in transparency. Workers told CNBC that 2018 was a pivotal point in the company's shift away from upfront communication. That was when news of Project Dragonfly, a secret Google plan to develop a censored search engine for possible rollout in China, first broke on The Intercept. Internally, the existence of the project had been kept on a need-to-know basis. The company later canceled Project Dragonfly after employees expressed concern over the secrecy of the project. Some workers left the company altogether. Quote, there's no way a few years before they would have had a secret project with these kinds of ethical concerns, end quote, said Raf Levian, a former Level 6 engineer who left Google after being there 11 years. Again, whatever Level 6 is. An engineer at Google, Level 1, probably gets paid pretty darn good. Level 6, no pun intended, but they're on a next level. They're on another level. Yeah, no, I'm kidding, you just said 6. Quote, it crossed the line and felt misleading. It definitely felt like this was Google changing, he said. Though he wasn't on the project, Levian said the company's effort to re-enter China and its secrecy around the project inspired his decision to leave. Quote, it was like, what are we actually building here? Are we building a magical encyclopedia, or are we building a surveillance network, which has immense potential to be misused, he said. Robert Lord, a software engineer, said the company has shifted away from a culture of free and open thinking he thought he signed on to. He departed the company after less than 1 year before the project he was working on had ended. I don't like this anyways, I'm out of here. Dude, again, a software engineer being employed by Google, you're gonna make some nice chunk of change, let me tell you. What this is, the good news about this is, number one, Google, we told you this was going to happen. Leave us the hell alone on YouTube. Stop censoring us. Stop making my subscriber count go lower and lower and lower. Stop making my videos not be found by other people, and you push CNN on top of us. As Napoleon Bonaparte said, I believe it was him, right? Never interfere with an enemy when he is in the midst of destroying himself, if you will. Don't interfere. Google's doing a great job destroying itself. But what the good part about this is these employees, it does show not everybody's a liberal leftist wackadoodle. Like the guy said, I thought we could come in and have, brainstorming sessions and create ideas and create things and make things better. And oh my gosh, we're creating a surveillance state for China. I didn't like that at all. So he left. To drop a job like that, remember the old saying, it's hard for a man to tell the truth when his job depends upon him not telling the truth. These people said, well, the hell with the job. I don't need the job. I'll go get another job. And now I can tell the truth. So that tells me that there are good people, men and women out there, who say, you know what, I'm way better than this. I'm an honorable person, and I don't like what the hell's going on here, and I'm getting the hell out of here. I don't care what the pay is. I'm getting the hell out of here because I'm not feeling comfortable working for this crazy company. That's essentially what they're saying, which is great news to me because that lets me know there's other people like us who say, you know what, maybe money's not always the biggest thing out there that we need to worry about. This is like against everything the United States stands for. I'm getting the hell out of here. I love it. Quote, I didn't have, this is the same guy, I guess. I didn't have ethical concerns with specific work, but it was more about supporting the company as a whole, Lord told CNBC. As a programmer, you have a lot of choice, and I don't blame people for staying, but I felt because I had a choice, I had a responsibility to choose to leave, end quote. One turning point for Lord and others was when news broke that the company had paid former executives, including Android co-founder Andy Rubin, golden parachutes, even after finding sexual misconduct allegations to be credible. Rubin denied any wrongdoing, but that didn't stop employees from staging a massive company-wide walkout last fall. Quote, when the payouts happened, that definitely felt like a punch in the gut, Lord said. I did feel like I was going to work at a big evil corporation. So that's why he had to leave. 9-year veteran Colin McMillan told CNBC that he left Google earlier this year without another job because he felt he couldn't be part of the organization anymore, citing that whole secret program Dragonfly, transparency, and Google's leadership's poor handling of crises over the last year. Employees last month staged a rally amid the suspension of employees who were later fired. That rally's purpose was to save Google's open culture, according to the event details. Protesters demanded transparency on policies that Google said led to their decision to fire 4 employees. In December, the National Labor Relations Board began investigating the company for the firings. Google is built on trust, said Zora Tung, an engineer at Google, who spoke at the rally. If the company wants to succeed, it needs to regain that trust through transparency and accountability. Becoming bigger. Long-tenured Google employees also said the company culture changed as it scaled to more than 100,000 workers, many of whom are contractors instead of full-time employees. Well, let me tell you why, my humble opinion. These quote-unquote contractors might also be, I'm sure you know, from outside the country. India, what have you. And if you tell an Indian guy, and I mean India from India, I'm not talking Native American, my peeps, I'm talking India. Not to say that India is my peeps either. But just so we know which kind of Indian we're talking about. If you are working remotely in India for a company in the United States, and the company in the United States tells you, you know, we need you to write this update to YouTube, and we need like a back-end system that's secret, only upper management has access to this, and then we'll give access to the people we need to give it to, where we can kind of give certain users a rating score so that all their videos get down in the dumpster, and other users, we raise them real high. Okay. I am finding this work pleasingly pleasant. Okay, go do it. They'll just do it. But an American, like the ones I just told you about, you know, this is kind of anti-constitutional. Why would we want to do that? I thought this was free and open, and like everyone got, you know, graded the same, so to speak. You know, the algorithms just work. But someone outside contractor will just do the work. That, I'm telling you, that's why they went bigger on the contractor side, because they realized these American people, they're Americans, they have patriotic duties, I guess, inside themselves they didn't know they had, and now they're finding out our evil work we're doing that we're trying to hide. This isn't going to go over well for us. Get some outside help who can't and won't ask questions. Okay. There's quite a bit more to this article. But I think I'm going to go ahead and quit now because I've told you enough. Google is self-destructing within itself. Never interfere with the enemy when he is in the midst of destroying himself. Let him go. Why do anything? Watch, just sit back and eat some popcorn or something. Yeah, so Google can turn around. Google can say, you know what? Yeah, we need to change all of upper management. We need to fix all this problem. The problem is all of upper management is the problem, and they ain't going nowhere because they have an agenda, and it's their agenda. And the employees, you guys just get to work. Everything's compartmentalized until you found out one of our dirty secrets, and now you want transparency. Don't we pay you guys enough? Will you just shut up and do the work? No. This is like draconian stuff, man. This is not like against the Constitution. We don't like that. Even your own employees say, hey, there's a problem here. The end of Google is nigh if they don't get their act together. Take care.